Hi, I'm Lori Alexander from The Transformed Wife, and today I want to talk about your sons. I've seen women who are extremely attached to their sons. I was attached to my sons. I adored my sons. I still love them deeply. They're the greatest treasures in my life. But they are so attached to them that when they get married, they become bitter and angry towards the daughter-in-law and speak evil against her and meddle and almost work to destroy the marriage. And that is so wrong, women. You have to know that once they marry, you have a different relationship with your husband. Men are commanded to leave their father and mother and cleave to their wives. And this means they leave you and they cleave to their wives. They no longer need you. When they're living under your roof, you're caring for them, you're fixing them food, you're doing anything that you can to help them. And my sons were incredibly busy, even through high school. So I still did their laundry, I fixed all their meals, I cleaned up after them, but they were busy in school and in sports. They took care of my yard and changed the oil and did things like that. But they were so busy that I still loved caring for them. And this is why I think God says it's not good for a man to live alone, because a man needs a wife or a mother. They need someone to take care of them. In fact, bachelors have the earliest death rates because they're just not taken care of well. Women, mothers, and then wives are the ones who cook good food for their husbands and make sure their clothes are clean, the house is clean, and just take care of them. So once they get married, we no longer do that for our sons. Their wives do, our daughters-in-law do. And you should be excited about this. I was so excited on the day of my son's weddings, so excited. I celebrated. I loved my daughter-in-laws. They both loved the Lord deeply. They both wanted to be mothers and wives and homemakers. And I've been so blessed with them. I have 10 grandchildren between my two sons. And they're very happily married. I don't meddle in their lives. Sometimes if I see something very rare, I will talk to my son about it, but it's been very rare because I've heard that you shouldn't give unwanted advice. So I try very hard not to do that, but I will sometimes. But often they come to me, not often, once in a while, they will come to me for advice because we still have a great relationship, but it's different. It's completely different. I don't have the same, like my younger son told his wife that I was his best friend through high school, through his teenage years. He'd come home and we just talk all the time and had a great relationship. My older son was a little bit more reserved, but he'd still talk to me. Like when he went away to college, he'd call once in a blue moon. I finally said, "You must call me once a week, okay?" He said, "Okay, Mom." So he kept his promise and he called me once a week. But my daughters, I'm very close emotionally to my daughters because daughters are different. When my daughters had babies or are sick or they need help, they call me. Yes, my son who lives close to me, if his wife is sick and her mother's not available, I will go help. I helped a lot when the children were younger. And I loved helping. Whenever my daughters-in-law or my daughters need me, I like to help them. So in fact, my older daughter has adopted a baby, a brand new baby. So I've been taking care of her older children. And when she gets home, I'll help her take care of her new little precious baby, that blessing that she's gotten. So, and I like to be there and available, and we have long conversations, and I'm just very close to my daughters. My younger daughter will call me and FaceTime me like every third day or something, and they come out and visit me. They just live east of us for a ways, but they come out twice a week and love to spend time with us. And we're close to her husband, and I'm close to all my sons-in-laws and my daughters-in-law, and we just have to support them and love them. And you want your sons to leave you and cleave to your wife. You want your sons to have good marriages. They will not have good marriages if you're bitter and angry and whatever. If your daughter-in-law isn't maybe up to biblical standards level, has never been taught biblical womanhood, you model it to her. If you have a chance, speak to her about it in a kind way. But you don't want to force it on her. You don't want to hurt the relationship that you have with your daughter-in-law. I think daughter-in-law and mother-in-law is probably the toughest relationship out there. So you can't give them advice, unwanted advice. You have to be careful about that. But if they ask for advice, pray for wisdom and give them the best advice that you can. But love them, pour love and grace upon them, pray for them diligently, and just let your sons go and understand that your relationship will be different. And women have asked me, well, what about, I have all sons, well, you're going to have daughter-in-laws someday, hopefully, prayerfully. Develop incredible relationships with those daughters-in-law by loving them, by serving them, by doing all you can to make their lives better. This is how you win people. You're not going to win them. You're not going to change them by being bitter and speaking evil against them or anything else. You change people by loving them, letting them see Christ in you, doing whatever you can to make their lives better. So if you have any questions, just answer in the comment section, but let your sins go, women. It's imperative that you do that. It's very destructive to marriage for mothers to not let their sons go and cleave to their wives. This is what they were created to do. Talk to you later. Bye-bye.